If you're an artist, you probably know this feeling. You sit down to draw a piece that you vividly saw in your mind while musing over some banger epic instrumental music. A piece so sophisticated, so dark, so complicated, with the lore to match. A piece that would require you to be somewhat educated about the subject to understand fully. A piece that inspires philosophical thought, and one you're not quite sure is perfectly safe to show on YouTube. You spend hours masterfully finding the perfect perspective, the best composition to tell your story, the most dramatic contrast you could master, and the best colors. You find ways to implement your vision, to write a poem with no words. It's no easy feat. You think, yes, this is a great piece, it's going to look so good, it's going to be talked about for centuries to come, well, a few weeks at least. Then you sit back and look at it as a finished piece and realize, damn, this looks like hot garbage. Hello everyone, my name is Candle. If you already knew me, sorry for going missing for what feels like a whole month. I had my wisdom teeth removed and doing anything was a nightmare. I know I promised some Persona videos. I'm currently trying to find a good schedule again. Once I get a good footing, I'll start tackling your suggestions one by one. As much as I dread some of them, not naming anyone in particular, Lewis. So recently I had a burst of inspiration while going on my little walk in town. You know the walk, where you go around town pretending to have a life, buying a couple of things to have an excuse to socialize. Ordering coffee and sitting down for 2 hours at a cafe, pretending you're the next great artist to write on a napkin and make millions off of your mediocre franchise. The walk where you inevitably realize how super lonely and pathetic you are for going out all by yourself to sit with your own thoughts and be too embarrassed to try and talk to people without some kind of urgent reason to. You know, the walk. I was just in town to buy some brushes for a project I'll never start, and if I did, I'd never finish, and stopped to sit down at my favorite little retreat and read Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. I read about Odin and his unorthodox method of digging for the secrets of the universe. And I had a vision. In this tale, Odin is for one reason or another putting himself through torture, going to the branches of the world tree, stabbing himself with his spear, hanging himself and starving himself for 9 whole days. Why? Was it despair, depression, or boredom? Was it whispered in his ear that this is the precise ritual to achieve his goals? Or did he guess that such methods would reward him with fruits? Did he genuinely want to end it all, but the failure to do so made him achieve a breakthrough? Whatever the reason, on the 9th day his rope snapped, and he fell from the world tree. The secrets of the runes revealed themselves to him as he fell. I imagined Odin falling, perhaps a touch surprised, yet unbothered, looking up to the branch that snapped and contemplating the meaning of it all. Then the runes lit up and he suddenly understood. It is so vivid in my mind. The scene, so dramatic, epic, poetic, sad, even inspiring. It touched me on a spiritual level. I just had to recreate it. I came home and began working on my masterpiece, believing this will be my magnum opus, abandoning my Ragnarok gallery just to draw this one scene, looking for the perfect pose, the perfect perspective, and then putting it all together. I rendered it carefully. I wanted Odin to face the tree, looking away from the audience, reaching for the runes and the rope that snapped. Yggdrasil, the world tree, the vision of it, from below the crown of branches, it looked like the universe, blazing stars and exploding supernovas. The tree bark twisting, curving, with magic flowing through the gaps. The runes peeking out. This huge tree dwarfing Odin. The colors mesmerizing. The whole thing was supposed to be so breathtaking, yet I look at it now and looks like a child book depiction. This is not what I envisioned at all. So what happened? Well, in every artist's journey there will be art gaps, where what you expect from yourself and what you can produce are in 2 different leagues of each other. While this is true, I still feel like I could have done better. Perhaps if I tried multiple compositions, experimented a bit, and actually ditched my lazy tricks in favor of putting 100% of my effort into it. Maybe it would have looked less like a hot mess. Maybe Odin is way too big in this composition. Maybe the tree lacks something. Maybe the perspective is not dramatic enough. Maybe I actually don't know what I'm doing, and everything that ever looked nice is just me stumbling in the dark into treasures. But what I feel I know for a fact is my lack of control over the colors of this piece in particular. Or perhaps in general, grayscale looks so nice, yet when I try to apply colors, it's like I've never seen colors before. I try not to be too harsh on myself, and if you can relate, please don't be too harsh on your own pieces through your journey. I was put into perspective once by a therapist. He asked me how many languages I know, and I said that I knew 3, but my Russian could use some work. He stopped me there. I was focused on flaws in everything, even in something as impressive as knowing through languages fluently. I still found flaws in myself, things to improve, things that are less than perfect. He reminded me there are people who only know one language their whole lives, and they don't worry about perfecting their only known language either. When you put it into art terms, I know so many things, so much knowledge is stored in this little pea head of mine. Art knowledge no one who works as a CEO or office supplier would know. Knowledge that took decades to fully grasp and fathom and then practically put into digital projects. Knowledge that would be useless anywhere else, yet I know it. I'm an expert at it, as much as I hate to admit that I'm good at something, and art is accessible and anyone can do it. So it feels wrong to claim professionalism, but I'm comparing simple maths to multi-level accounting or sculpting a pot to building a temple or making bread for the first time to running a full-time bakery. It's never perfect. Nothing ever is, even if you know what you're doing. But what to do about it? Well, what you can do about it is try again. Maybe you miscalculated due to a conversion rate issue. Maybe you misplaced a load-bearing pillar. Maybe you spilled a week's worth of cookie butter on the floor, causing yourself damages. Either way, the world goes on, and you will get to do it again, next time a little less badly. But remember, you need to do it badly before you can do it goodly. Just look at my older videos. I still have lots to improve, but I'm a little less bad now, right? Perhaps I'll draw this again. Odin deserves a good piece, I think, and this one doesn't do him justice. Otherwise, a perfectly good attempt. I'll try better next time. And you should too. Never stop and keep going.